Cooper Fitch. They're looking at job creation here in the UAE and across the Gulf. The UAE saw a 9% increase in the amount of jobs created last year, according to the report. We're very pleased to be joined by the Cooper and Fitch founder and CEO, Trefor Murphy. Trefor, good morning. So it's a strong number, 9% more jobs. Tell us how you come up with it.
Sure. So we've been releasing our employment index in Cooper Fitch for about 3 years now. We simply take the number of jobs that we have within the firm, within each of our market segments. We estimate our market position within the Gulf, depending on how many people we have in that market, etc. And then we take an average of what we've seen across quarter-on-quarter growth and year-on-year growth.
So how does that, and I'm looking at the annual rather than the quarter-on-quarter, how does our 9% growth in the UAE compare with the rest of the Gulf?
I think quite well, very well, probably coming in at number 2 overall. Saudi was a little higher at 11%. And then we got Qatar coming in next, just about 7%, I think. So, yeah, no, I think it's been a really good year for the UAE.
And I'm sure that most of our listeners could actually tell us what's driving that growth, but I want to hear from you. What do you think's driving that growth?
Okay, look, I think the UAE's had it's certainly a couple of percentage points, maybe 3 or 4 percentage points ahead of the COVID numbers, the pre-COVID numbers. A lot of that has been driven by Centre for the big consulting firms still. So across strategy, management consulting, the legal industry, and a lot of investment and PE firms are based in Dubai or based across the UAE, focusing and supporting the wider Gulf region.
OK, well, let me dial it back away from sectors and just talk in general, talk macro.
Yeah.
What are you seeing and what are you feeling that you think is creating 9% more jobs at the moment?
A little bit of rebound, obviously. I mean, oil at a considerably higher is certainly funding a lot of the confidence in private sector and then funding a lot of projects in the public or semi-public sectors. So we're seeing a lot hinges on that, for sure.
Are you able to fill 9% more jobs? Do we have the talent here to do that?
I mean, hiring for our sectors at the moment is certainly one of the most challenging factors of where we are at the moment. So we grew as a firm by 37% last year, which is higher than we've ever had is higher than we've ever been from a headcount and a revenue point of view in over 20 years based in the Gulf. So yes, we can. We have to be selective in terms of how much work we take on. We want to make sure that we deliver or over-deliver for our clients.
But can you find the talent locally is what I'm asking?
Sorry, in terms of finding the talent within the markets, not always the case, for sure, right? So a lot of what we're doing is bringing international talent into the region because I've spoken many times about how dynamic this market is and things change from time to time. And then there's the big nationalisation agenda across all the Gulf countries really creates a very dynamic employment market right now.
If you were to put a really rough percentage on what percentage of jobs you're filling from people who are already here in the UAE and what percentage people are being almost brought in for the roles, where would you put it at the moment and how does it compare to the last few years?
So are we including national numbers, like as in local numbers within that, or just okay? So
in general,
in general, I mean, so hard to say in general. Saudi is probably about 60% within Saudi, and that's a big play on Saudi nationals. And UAE is probably slightly less, maybe 25 or 30% of what we do. So hiring within market, probably I'd say on average, maybe 50 to 60% within country hiring.
Is there a shift? Are you bringing more people in from outside than you would have done a couple of years ago or even pre-COVID?
Yes, certainly. Like a big change, obviously, with Vision 2030, there's a big change in terms of what's required, what their plans are. So we're doing a lot of work across areas that we wouldn't have worked typically before. Arts, culture, tourism, all massive plays, destination building is a significant play, particularly in Saudi, obviously. So, yeah, the skill sets required. And then all the technologies, all the consulting houses have in some cases, doubled in size in the last 3 or 4 years.
Cool. So let's look at those sectors. Out of this 9% of job creation, which sectors are creating the most new jobs?
Great question. I would say the ones that are rebounding are probably creating the most jobs. So real estate is a full play now again. It might even be, in terms of what's coming, projects that are coming out, that's a significant part of that 9%. Aviation, energy, all massive plays. And then technology and consulting are probably really adding to those numbers across the year-on-year numbers.
Where are we not seeing new jobs created?
In UAE or across Gulf?
In the UAE, sector-wise.
Probably not enough happening in manufacturing and industry still. Logistics picking back up and supply chain picking back up, but probably need some more activity in those sectors, I think. I mean, the success of EGA is an example. It shows how ripe this area in this country is in terms of manufacturing, but we could use some more investment and more support in that area, I think.
And the new jobs where you're placing people, what kind of wages are we placing them at? What are you seeing happen to wage growth alongside that job creation?
So just at the end of last year, we released our salary guide. We're projecting a 2% increase for this year, 2023, 2%. Last year, I think it was probably about 4% across what we do. And you know, at Cooper Fitch, we do mid to senior hiring, so it's not indicative across all areas for sure. And all areas did not grow at that rate, but as an average of averages, you know, I would say about 4.5% last year, about 2% this year.
Thanks very much for joining us on the Business Breakfast this morning. Trefor Murphy is the founder and CEO of Cooper Fitch Recruitment and Headhunting Company, speaking to us about their new job creation report, which has seen year on year a 9% increase in job creation